Welcome back to Standard. We are doing exercise 5.2. We are left with 3 questions from this exercise. Question number 17th. Let's take a look. Find the 20th term from the last term of the arithmetic progression given here. This is again an important type. It's very important that you understand what the question is. Now this is what the question is. You have to find out the 20th term from the last term. So if this question was find 20th term of the AP, we would simply find out A20, but this is not the case. We don't have to find out the 20th term going forward in the AP, but we have to find out the 20th term if we start counting backwards from the last term. Now it is like if I want to find out which is the 20th student, if I start counting backwards from the last roll number in your class. So if there are 50 students in your class and I start counting from the last one, the 50th roll number is the first person, 49th roll number will be the second person, 48th roll number is the third person, then which roll number would be at the 20th place. So this is what I want to find out here. Now there are 2 methods to do this question. I'll be taking those up one by one. Now first method, the first step here is I want to find out how many terms are there in this AP. So let's find out the number of terms. I hope you remember we have done a question like this. Question number 5, question number 13th, question number 14th. These are all similar where we find out how many terms are there in the given AP. And to find out the number of terms, first thing we do is we write down A and D, the first term and the common difference. So the first term here is 3. The common difference represented by D is 5. Now let the number of terms as n, then the last term is an. Now this is the same thing. I have been writing it down again and again in various questions. But if I look at the list of the arithmetic progression given, what is the last term? This is the last term. I want to find out its position. An is 253. Using the value for an, the formula for the nth term, it is a plus n minus 1 times d equals to 253. Using the values of a and d, now this is important because the example that I gave you, if I know there are 50 students in your class and I want to count from the last roll number which student will be at the 20th place, the important thing is how many students are there in all. So same way I have now the total number of values in this arithmetic progression. So there are 51 terms in this arithmetic progression. So once you've done this step, the second step is to find out the term that we need. We want to find out 20th term from the last, and this will actually be equal to total terms minus the term that I need plus 1. So this will be 51 minus 20 plus 1. This is 32nd term from the beginning. Now why I have done this, let's understand it with the help of an example. I'll just do this in rough. You can also note down if you want. So let us consider an AP with 10 terms. So irrespective of what the values are, if I have A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. I've got an AP with 10 terms. I want to find out if I start going backwards. I want to find out the third term from the last. So this is the first term, this is the second term, and this is the third term. So this is the third term from the last. And if you look at its position from the beginning, from the last it is third, but from the beginning it is eighth. So what's the relation here between this number, the position from the end, and the position from the top? This value has two positions. If we start counting from the last, it is third, but if I count from the beginning, it is eighth. And what's the relation between the two positions? So you can observe that third term from the last. So third term from last is actually equal to total minus this value plus 1. So the total here is 10 minus 3 plus 1, it is 8, and this is what I have. From the beginning it is 8th, and from the last it is 3rd. This is what I have done here. Total terms minus 20 plus 1 will tell you the position of the term we want from the beginning. And now after this, what you have to do is you only have to find out A32, the 32nd term. This will be A plus 31D. Use the values of A and D. A is 3 and D is 5. So this will be 158. Once again, this is the first method which we use to find out the 20th term from the last of the given AP. This is the first method and it has two steps. The first step is to find out how many terms are there in all. So we have found the number of terms. The total number of terms is 51. And then since we are looking for 20th term from the end, we want to find out what will be the position of that term if we count from the beginning. So if there is a term which is at 20th place, going backwards from the end, if I had to count its place from the first value, what would be its place? This can be calculated using this relation, total terms minus the position at which the term is lying from the end, add 1. So this gives me 32. So that means if I am looking at 20th term from the end, it will actually be 32nd term from the beginning. So I have calculated the value of the 32nd term. This is first method. Now let us look at the second method to do the same question. We are looking at the second method to do question number 17. We have to find out the 20th term from the last for the given AP. We've already discussed first method. This is the second method that I'm discussing. Since I want to find out the term from the end, the first step will be to write the AP in reverse. So it's like arranging all the values in the reverse order. Right now I have arrangement starting from 3, 8, 13 going up to 253. I'm going to reverse the order. So my new sequence will look like this. $253, and these numbers will also be in the reverse. So now you can see the AP has been reversed, and if you observe closely, it is still an arithmetic progression. Earlier it was increasing by 5 and now it is decreasing by 5. So here the first term is 253 and the common difference, take any two consecutive terms and subtract them. I'm taking these two, 8 minus 13, it's minus 5. So earlier the common difference was positive 5. The values were increasing by 5. After reversing, the values are decreasing by 5. The common difference changes its sign. And now we have step 2. Let's write down the 20th term, the one we want to find out. Because the sequence is already reversed, we have already listed the values in the order that we are looking at from the end. I've listed the AP in that way, so I don't need to find out its position from the beginning anymore. I will just find out the 20th term in this reverse AP. So this will be A plus 19D. Let's use the value of A and D. And this gives me the same answer. That's it. Now let us look at question number 19. Subbarao started work in 1995 at an annual salary of 5,000 rupees and received an increment of 200 rupees each year. In which year did his income reach 7,000 rupees? So let's just write this. The starting salary or the starting income, it is 5,000 rupees, and then there is an annual increment. Every year the salary is increased by a amount, and that amount is 200 rupees. So keeping these two things in mind, if we write down the salaries that Subbarao received during various years, what do we get? So salary for first year of his job, that was 1995, it was 5,000 rupees. And then salary for the second year, it has now increased by 200 rupees. So in the second year he is receiving 5,200 rupees. Salary for the third year, again in the third year also he will get an increment of 200 rupees. In the third year he gets a salary of 5,400 rupees. So every time we are adding 200 to it. So this is how his salary keeps on increasing. And what we want to find out, salary in which year is 7,000 rupees. So there was, as the salary keeps on increasing, he will eventually reach 7,000 rupees. And when does that happen? After how many years? In which year will his salary be 7,000 rupees? This is what you want to find out. So if you look at this sequence of numbers, it forms an AP. And the first term here is 5,000. I'm not writing down the units here. And the common difference is the increment that we have. It's 200. And AN is 7,000. So there is some term which is 7,000. We want to find N. Now you have done a question like this where we know the value of the term, but we don't know the position of the term. So the value of the term is 7,000. We want to find out its position, and the position will be given by N. And we will apply the formula for AN, use A and D and find out N. Using the formula for AN, A plus N minus 1 multiplied by D, this is 7,000. Use the values of A and D. The first term is 5,000. The common difference is 200. Solving. The purpose is to find out N. So this is what we get. As Subbarao's salary keeps increasing, in the 11th year he will receive a salary of 7,000 rupees. I want you to try question number 20th yourself. It's similar to question number 19. I'll just give you some clues. They are saying that Ramkali saved 5 rupees in the first week of a year and then increased her weekly savings by 1 rupees and 75 paise per week. If in the nth week her weekly savings became 20 rupees 75 paise, find n. So we know what are her savings in a particular week. We want to find out what week that will be. So you will start by writing down we will start by writing down savings in first week. This is 5 rupees. Then savings in second week. Now this increased by 1 rupees 75 paise. So this will be 6 rupees 75 paise in the second week. In the third week, again it increases by 1 rupees 75 paise. So her savings in the third week will be 8 rupees and 50 paise, and this way it keeps on increasing, and in the nth week she is able to save 20 rupees 75 paise. So if you look at the sequence of numbers, this is an AP and the first term is 5. The common difference is 1.75 and AN is 20.75. You have to find out N from here.